As we mentioned, late kickoff tonight, 11 p.m. on the East Coast. Usually that is bad news for national exposure. So it's a good thing that Ashton Jeanty's Heisman campaign is already rolling this season. In fact, after last weekend, he's become the favorite to win the award. Let's break this down week by week right here. You can see how the hype has grown. Back in the preseason, Jeanty wasn't even listed as one of the top 72 candidates. Of course, we all knew how special he was here in Boise. The rest of the college football world would soon find out. It didn't take too long. Week 1, Jeanty runs for 267 yards and 6 touchdowns as the Broncos win their season opener against Georgia Southern. That moved him at least into the conversation. He opened up at plus 7,500, kind of a dark horse candidate to win the Heisman. Huge opportunity in Eugene the following week. Jeanty answered the bell. This time he ran for 192 yards and 3 touchdowns against then 7th-ranked Oregon and saw a significant jump. He had an implied probability or a 4% chance of winning the Heisman. After bye week, Jeanty only needed 2 quarters against Portland State, the only game he's had this season without a touchdown. Still got 127 yards on just 11 carries. Then he got a slight bump up to 5%. Things really heated up recently. After a 4-touchdown, 192-yard outing against previously undefeated Washington State, he went up to plus 1,100. Then after a dominant performance against Utah State, 3 TDs, 186 yards, and again, only one half of action, we see a massive leap forward. He jumps up to plus 225, an implied chance of 31% odds to win the Heisman, the best of any player in the country right now, beating out Colorado's Travis Hunter, who sits at plus 300. His consistency has been undeniable. He's averaging 10.9 yards per carry. He has 16 touchdowns. 6 of them are from over 60 yards out. This week, offensive coordinator Dirk Koetter described what it's like to get ready for an offensive series, and then just watch Jeanty erupt into the end zone immediately.
Ashton Jeanty's a generational player, so we're not planning those one-play drives. I mean, we had like 5 or 6 one-play, 60-plus drives. I mean, we're expecting those plays to gain 4 yards, and we'd be happy with that. You're ahead of the chains. He scores on that first play. It's almost anticlimactic. I'm finally, we were on defense first. We go through the kicking plays. Finally, it's time for me to do my job, and he takes a counter play and runs it 70 yards for a touchdown. Have some more popcorn and wait for the next series. He's just ahead of his time. I mean, this guy's he's playing at a superior, elite level, and he's a junior in college. He does it way more than most. I mean, that's what makes him special. And there's all the videos and stuff out there of 5, 6, 7 guys having a shot at him. I mean, yeah, he's doing a lot on his own.
Gosh, it's so interesting to have the discussion about Ashton Jeanty because I certainly do think the offensive line deserves a ton of praise for Ashton's success this year. With that being said, there are certain plays, though, where an opposing defense fits a run up perfectly. There's not much the Boise State's offensive line can do it, but Ashton Jeanty just does what only Ashton Jeanty can do right now, and he'll turn what looks like should only be a 1 or 2 yard run into a 70-yard house call. You know what's been fun is we keep talking about these big runs. Sometimes it looks like they get him behind the line, and then suddenly you go Ashton Jeanty for a gain of 7, and it's like, how did that happen? Yeah. He got collapsed upon, just able to keep pounding and get the ball upfield. His explosiveness is insane. Ashton Jeanty has 7 carries this year of 60 or more yards. The rest of the Mountain West combined, as in every other player in the conference this year, has 7 total 60-yard rushes. I mean, it's tough to compare him. One other thing that I want to bring up, and I'm glad that you brought up the Heisman odds, because there is this narrative that some people are pushing on social media that I simply don't get. Hey, if you want to argue that you want to watch Ashton Jeanty in the second half because he's phenomenal, I get that. But to say right now that it's hurting his Heisman odds, A, it's way too early to argue that in my opinion. B, it's not hurting his Heisman odds. He's the front runner. Exactly. He's the front runner now. So this was an argument after the Portland State game, and his odds increased after the Portland State game. He was also super fresh for the Washington State game, where he played over 90% of the offensive snaps and rushed for 259 yards, the 3rd most in a single game in school history. And then last week, it seemed like people were complaining about that again, and he goes from, what was it, a 10-1, 11-1 odds? Yeah, up to the favorite. To a little over 2-1 odds. Like, even though he's sitting in the second half for some of these blowouts, his performances are so dominant that it's not hurting him in any way, shape, or form right
I mean, if in Utah State he played 4 quarters and got 3 touchdowns for 186 yards, we would be sitting here being like, that was a great game. He only needed a half to get there. You have an opportunity to get guys like Dylan Riley, Breezy Dubar working because Boise State is a developmental program. Those guys work hard. Spence and the Dirk Koetter and the coaching staff wants to see them get in. And at the end of the day, I don't think you benefit from Jeanty scoring 15 touchdowns against Portland State if he plays that entire game. You want to see him play against the best competition, and when it's a blowout, you have the opportunity to pull him and let him get a rest.
So one other argument about this that I thought, or just a talking point, you don't think that if Ashton Jeanty went to Spencer Danielson and said, hey, give me a couple series in the second half, you don't think Spencer would say, all right, I'm going to listen to you, get a couple series? I love the fact that he's a pretty selfless guy. He's not putting his numbers first right now, and he is saying, hey, Breezy Dubar, Dylan Riley, Tyler Crow, and Sire Gaines in the season opener, go get yours, right?
Yeah. I mean, he is the first player to go run over and celebrate off the sideline with a running back whenever they score a touchdown. They talked about how he's grown as a player, he's grown as a leader. He really takes that role model role very seriously.
Yeah, a super selfless guy, putting up unbelievable numbers. Right now, he's on pace to threaten Barry Sanders' single-season rushing record of 2,628 yards. His over-under for rushing yards today, Brady, 184.5.
We were looking at the odds. The best time to place a bet on Ashton Jeanty was weeks ago. His anytime touchdown, one of the worst props in college football right now because it almost feels like a given.
Yeah, we're going to get to that in just a minute.